He rarely gave you enough to make a plan, but he gave you just enough to keep one open. That was how an ordinary evening became something you could not fully use or fully let go. You could feel it in the way a normal plan became a test. He would talk about seeing you like it was obvious, like he missed you, like the distance between you was about to close. Then the day came, and the plan stayed loose. No time, no place, no real move from him. So you did what made sense, while you still wanted to believe his warmth meant something. You left part of your evening open. You did not fully say yes to other plans. You told yourself not to make it a big deal. You watched how easily he could sound interested without actually showing up with anything solid. And when he finally came back warm, you felt your body soften before your mind had time to speak. He said just enough to make the distance before it feel less important. A sweet line. A sudden interest in your day. A reminder of the man you liked when he was present. That was the trap. Not that he was always distant. If he had been cold from the beginning, you might have stepped back sooner. The confusing part was that he knew how to return with feeling. For a few minutes, the warmth in his voice made you question whether the empty evening had really meant anything. But look at what you started doing. You began measuring his interest by moments, not by his behavior across time. You treated warmth as proof, even when his actions kept leaving you unsure. You paid attention to how good it felt when he came close, and tried not to name how often he left things undefined. The first truth you avoided was simple. His warmth kept making you believe the clear answer was still coming. So instead of treating the missing plan as information, you kept leaving room for what he might do next. It was not that you saw nothing. You saw enough. That is why you needed an explanation that made his uncertainty feel harmless. You told yourself he was just confused, not careless, not unwilling to make a choice, just confused, as if more time would naturally turn uncertainty into an answer. And that explanation did not come from nowhere. He helped build it. When the subject came close to what you needed, he did not say, "I am choosing this." He said things were complicated. He said he did not want to rush. He said he cared, but he had a lot going on. He made his uncertainty sound thoughtful, almost responsible, as if being unclear meant he was being careful with you. So you tried to be careful too. You stopped asking simple questions in simple ways. You softened them first. You gave him room before he even asked for it. You learned to say, "I understand," while something inside you still wanted to say, "But where do I actually stand with you?" There was probably a moment when someone asked about him. A friend, a sister, a woman at work who noticed your mood shift when his name came up. And instead of saying the plain thing, you explained the fog. He's dealing with a lot. We're not rushing. You heard yourself defending a connection that still could not give you a basic answer. The hard part was that the excuse felt kind. It made you feel mature. It made you feel patient. It made you believe that asking for clarity too soon would make you unreasonable. But the excuse was doing more than protecting him. It was protecting your place near him. As long as he was just confused, you did not have to admit that nothing about the arrangement required him to become clearer. He could come close and step back when the connection required more. And you would still give him more time to decide whether he wanted the place in your life you had already given him. That is what the excuse allowed. It let you keep tolerating unclear behavior as if your patience would eventually turn it into a clear choice. What was happening was not just confusion. Every time you were close to accepting the truth, he gave you enough warmth to make you start waiting again. Each warm return made the distance before it looked unfinished instead of meaningful. It made you think the answer had not arrived yet, when the repeated uncertainty was already the answer. And the cost was not only emotional, it started affecting your ordinary days. You were at work, trying to finish something simple, and part of your mind was still with the last conversation. The conversation had ended with nothing settled. You could answer emails, smile when someone spoke to you, sit in a meeting, and still feel that pull in your chest. Maybe he will clear it up today. You started making decisions around uncertainty. You left a night open without admitting you were leaving it open for him. You said you were tired, or maybe next time. But the real reason was you did not want to be unavailable if he suddenly became warm again. That is how mixed signals take more than they appear to take. They do not only take the moment when he is absent, they take the hours around it. They take the part of you that tries to act normal while waiting for a man to give you a clear answer. They make a simple invitation feel complicated because somewhere in you, your life is still arranged around a maybe. And when he did come close, it did not settle you for long. For a short while, you felt relieved. You could breathe again. You could tell yourself you had not imagined it. Then the same unclear space opened back up, and your body understood before you wanted to admit it. This was not becoming steadier. It was repeating. The hardest part was not that you had no information. It was that every warm return made you distrust the information you already had. The undefined plans, the steps backward, the closeness that never became a clear place in his life. Each one was already giving you information, but his next return made you reopen the question. He did not have to make a clear choice, because each time he came close again, you treated the choice as something that was still coming. You did not imagine the closeness. There were moments when he was present, interested, and emotionally near you. Those moments mattered because they showed that something existed between you. But something existing between two people is not the same as both people building it in the same direction. The warmth may have been sincere. What it could not prove was that he was willing to turn that feeling into a clear place for you in his life. Believing the warmth might eventually become something steady made sense emotionally. It helped you stay close to something that still felt meaningful, but it also made you give those moments more meaning than his repeated choices could support. A moment of care is not the same as a relationship you can actually rely on. He may have liked you and felt something real. This is the part to see without turning against yourself. You stayed because the good parts were specific. They had a voice, a face, and a feeling you could still remember. The unclear parts were easier to excuse because they could be blamed on timing, pressure, fear, or everything happening in his life. But your life was involved too. Your time was real. Your plans were real. His warmth did not erase the fact that you were still left guessing. You do not have to call the closeness fake in order to admit that it was not enough. His warmth told you that he could feel close to you. His repeated uncertainty told you what he was actually prepared to offer. The step is small, but it interrupts the pattern before it takes over again. The change begins when his warm moments no longer override his unclear behavior. Not with a speech, not by proving anything to him. Just in one ordinary moment when you would usually soften the truth because he suddenly sounds close again. Picture the next time he returns with warmth after leaving things unclear. He asks how your day was. He says he has been thinking about you. His voice has that familiar ease, the one that used to make you stop asking for the answer you needed. This time, the warmth can be there without deciding what happens next. If there is still no clear plan, that matters more than the warmth of his return. And if he speaks like he wants you, but still gives you no real place in his life, that is the behavior to notice. The action is simple. You answer the behavior, not the mood. If the plan is still undefined, you do not keep the evening open. If he says he misses you but makes no clear move, you can receive the words without rearranging your life around them. That may feel cold at first. You may worry that making another plan means closing the door too quickly, but you are not punishing him. You are letting an unclear offer stay unclear instead of building a commitment around it by yourself. A soft message can remain only a message. You do not have to turn his interest into a plan before he does. This does not mean you become cold. It means you stop letting warmth erase the pattern. You can still care about him and admit that caring was never the part missing from you. What was missing was enough steadiness from him for you to stop arranging your life around uncertainty. And when you do this once, even quietly, something begins to shift. The next warm return does not have to send you back to the beginning. You can let the words feel good without reopening every question or giving back the space you had started taking for yourself. His uncertainty can remain his. Your evening does not have to remain available while he decides what he wants.